Just imagine this is a scary mask, so it brings Twitch happiness. For some of you, I don't even have to imagine. And so this would be Thursday, March 8th.
Is that original?
That's what makes you laugh. Thursday, March 8th, we get the rest of our Olympians, and we're going to create humans and deal with the issues that humans have. Sometimes it's a little close to home. The Olympians quiz tomorrow. For those of you who are at home, this is going to be over the stuff from this week, plus we're going to finish out our last story today. I'm going to go ahead and tell you now your answers for the quiz for tomorrow. You're going to have a total of 15 questions. And so of your 15 questions, 12 of them are the big Olympians, the ones that are right up yonder. And so you're going to use those as your 12 answers. 2 of your answers are going to be the 2 gods that gave up thrones. Which gods give up thrones?
Hestia and Hades.
So that's 2 of your answers right there. Your 15th answer is going to be the god that swallowed his children who later become Olympians.
Kronos.
So that's your 15 answers right there. So all you have to do is figure out which answer goes into which spot as you're going through and taking it. And so I'm going to be asking questions to try and make you think outside the box for the questions. I'm not going to just come straight out and say, who is the god of love and beauty? Because that doesn't really require any level of thinking. I'm going to say something closer along the lines of, she is the oldest Titan to become an Olympian because she is not directly related to Zeus, and he should love her for it. Once again, that'd be Aphrodite. Because once again, why is she the oldest one? Because
she
came from Uranus and stuff like that. So that's the making you think. And I even gave you the hint. He should love her for it. So I tried to even drop a little clue in there. So that's the whole trying to make you think outside the box. If you're already realizing, Mr. Broviak, I've already failed, I will give you the option of taking the regular kids quiz because it covers the same stuff. The drawback is, yeah, it does max you out and like cost points, but it's a lot more straightforward and simple. So if you're already having a tough time wrapping your brain around this, you might want to step down to the other one. Because I'm also giving them the chance to step up and take the advanced one. Because right now, a lot of I'm covering the same stuff, but I get to give you guys actual questions that require you to think, and I give them questions that don't as much.
So do they get like extra credit?
Yeah, I know, it's the joy.
That's unfair.
This is well, at any time, you're welcome to drop out of advanced English and then start taking regular English, then you get to experience regular English fun. But then you also get to have regular English class issues.
I want to eat rice.
Those of you watching at home, during my regular classes, you know we have some regular class issues. You,
Eating.
and you, and you. Alright, and then just regular point here. Ooh, the season story, the thing that none of you guys asked me about whatsoever because it's coming up due on Monday. This is a story you're going to have to read on your own. I know I've been doing most of them all where I get to tell you the stories, but this is one that you're going to have to read on your own in order to completely understand things. It's going to be on my website. We find the homework files where it says Greek mythology. Right below where you have the homework options, homework 1, homework 2, homework 3, there's one that says creation of the seasons. That'll be the homework that comes due Monday. It's about a page. The bad news is I'm making you actually do homework that requires you to read something. The good news is it's not a horrible story. It's going to be the one about Hades who decides to go out and kidnap himself a wife because he's not good at talking to people because his communication skills are weak. And so instead of going out and joining like a normal dating service, he joins a dating service called I'm Just Going to Kidnap You, which did not catch on as much as you might think. And so that's what you're going to end up reading for the homework. But back to here. We've gotten to those first ones, correct?
Yes.
Yay. So then our next one who gets a throne after Artemis and Apollo, the one I just kept hinting about because she is the oldest one of them all and is born from
Aphrodite.
John, I figured I kept giving you hints that eventually happened. And she is the god of
Love and beauty.
Who does she marry? Who does she date?
Aries.
So what kind of personality does she have?
Horrible.
Nicely done. Once again, if you're not sure, the clue that she celebrates her marriage by getting a boyfriend should be your clue that she's not the best person out there. But that's what I want to do someday. You're also not the best person out there. Sorry, I have to break that to you. And then the hand sign for her.
Heart.
And if you want to double up, like if I had a kid do, where you do the heart, and then bring like your arms in like the heart, and do like a full praying mantis style, you're welcome to do that one too.
How do you do that?
Lots of practice. Heart.
Wait, what?
Heart.
You do a heart?
And
No, you can
then,
do a heart on a heart.
A
heart on a
gang
heart.
sign one.
and then you bring them together.
You can do
Or
heart
do
on a
like
heart.
a
Or you
weird
could
like
do like hurts my arms.
heart. It's a heart.
This
Did
is
you
why
say
you
it
go.
hurts your arms?
Oh, triple heart. It's a triple heart.
Oh my God!
Wait.
After Aphrodite. Ooh, speaking of mind blown, our next one to get a throne is.
Athena.
Ah.
It's not funny.
I'm
Original
not
joke.
disagreeing with
Don't
you.
laugh at him. It
Thank you.
encourages it. That wasn't even
Right? But I'm hard not to laugh at. I'm like your little dancing teacher monkey. Athena! Horrible, horrible little children. Sixth period would never do this.
That's because they're not fun.
Yeah,
they're not fun.
They stare at you.
I mean, I tell them that every day, but still. Athena is the god of.
Wisdom. And
Or
war.
you could also put the god of sixth period. And then for Athena.
That hurt.
Yeah, that was the goal of that.
Right,
one.
snatched all your back.
That's called getting revenge for your little clapping monkey thing. Who's winning
You
now?
brought it on. You called yourself a monkey.
And Athena, our hand sign for her is.
Play to brain.
Nice one. Or you can also do the unicorny bit, or I've also had kids doing like a head vomity
Head
explosion thing.
explosion.
A head explosion coming out that way, that's fine too. And then we got through the last one we added yesterday, who is?
Hermes.
And that's because Zeus goes and becomes friends with the wood elf nymph
Wood nymph.
type girl thing. And that's when the whole, ooh, what does he steal?
Cows. Golden cows.
Nicely done, the whole glow in the dark moo things, nightlight moo. And then who did the nightlight moo belong to?
Apollo.
And what does he create for Apollo in trade?
A heart. A turtle.
A heart? No, that's what I got.
An
And so,
intestine turtle.
nice.
Is that what you get from sixth period?
Turtle intestine.
I do get that from them. An intestine turtle, which is also known as a. It's actually a leer, not
Oh.
a bunch of liars. Leers, sorry, would also be that. See, they just keep encouraging me. They're the ones to blame.
Abby, bad.
And what is it? He becomes the god of,
God.
and the hand sign for him.
Thief.
Running on a lake.
And this is where we've discovered some of you have never run before in your life. No, you are not. I don't know what that is that just happened. And so we started getting into the story with you guys about Zeus, who decides now that he's going to come down and become friends with a human. And so we're going to get to the story of making humans in a little bit today. And the human's name was? Semele, S-E-M-E. Not something I'm going to make you know, just seeing how many of you guys kept that in your brain. If you did, congratulations. And then we got to the part where she becomes pregnant.
Yes.
And what directive does Zeus give to her?
Don't tell anyone.
And of course, what does she do?
Tell everyone.
Because she's a human and humans make choices. Who finds out about it after she starts telling everyone?
Hera.
And do we get to what form Hera takes?
All
the way.
My grandma.
That's the old woman who comes in. Do we get to the part where she talks to her?
Yeah.
Ooh. And then what did she say to her?
You have to show. Oh.
Good jobs.
If the god shows them your normal form,
Uh-huh.
then you'll just like not. And
I know.
so she said that if Zeus loved her, then he would show her her normal form, and that they just tell them that they'll explode, so that because if they actually have to see them, then they have to marry them. So she told him that, but then actually she just wants her to die. So
What?
That works pretty well. Am I higher?
No, I thought she. I was just gonna.
You were expecting her to fail, and then when she succeeds,
Yeah.
you were completely thrown off.
He wasn't listening.
That's well done.
How was I not?
Yes.
I was also going to say to prove that Zeus was Zeus, not just a creepy old man.
That is true. Although technically it doesn't work that way because Zeus is a creepy old man, so it kind of counteracts itself. But that was definitely the goal.
Creepy old man.
Twitch.
I'm confused because this says which Olympians were the direct sons or daughters of Zeus, and there's only
Olympians.
I know what Olympians are.
On
Yeah,
the back of the white sheet. The ones that are underlined.
Yeah, I know. Oh, wait, but then who is it?
See, I'm not the
See,
one who's
look,
confused.
it's not even that difficult.
She's
No,
only
I see
confused.
that. No, but I still am confused because
Hang
it's
on,
technically
let's help you out.
confused.
The ones that are not are his brothers and sisters.
Wait, but there's
Riley,
Shh.
There's a whole entire family tree over there.
I know.
She can see the family tree, it's just still confusing.
It's
All right,
really not.
Oh,
so
it's okay. There's two of them who didn't get it. Never mind, my brain.
as long as we focus on the fact it was your issue, we're okay. So By your issue, I just mean all of you and not me. So we got the fact that she confronted Semele, and then Hera goes away and leaves Semele alone. Now we get to pick up the story from there. Semele heads back to her house and does not keep telling people about the fact that Zeus being the baby daddy. Instead, she starts getting angry and grumpy and seething, and time goes by, and she starts deciding she's going to slap that man whenever he shows up because she's not very happy with him. And so eventually, Zeus does show up. Can we get this far? Can we get this far?
No.
Yes.
Knocks on the door, and when he does, she opens the door, and he's like, "Hey, baby, I'm Zeus, and I'm back." She's like, "Whatever," and just slaps him right away. He's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "You're not really Zeus." He goes, "Yes, I am. I've got the beard. I've got the lightning bolt tattoo right there. I just said I'm Zeus. That's as good as a driver's license. I don't have cars." And she goes, "No, that's not good enough for me. I think you're just a creepy old guy in a beard." He goes like, "What? Well, settle down. What do you want me to do to prove to you that I'm really Zeus?" And she goes, "If you were really Zeus, you'd show me your true form." He goes, "I can't do that. It would kill you. We've talked about that." She goes, "No, I've seen your true form. Your true form is creepy old man. I see it right there in front of me right now. Because if I saw your true form, you'd have to marry me, and you don't love me, and you don't love me, that makes me sad, because you're..." And she just starts yelling at him and going off. And she's like, "Whoa, settle down." And she starts getting in a little snappy mode, and the head starts going around in a little circle, and he's yelling at him, and he's like, "I can't handle this." And he's like, "You can't handle it because you're just some skanky." He's like, "Fine." He goes, "You want to see my true form?" Boo! And goes into his true form right in front of her. When he does, she goes, "Ah!" and turns to dust and disappears. Problem is, the baby that was inside of her is half God. So when she goes kapoofity, the baby goes, "Rah!" onto the ground. But it's not fully formed yet. And Zeus has a moment of going, "Oh, poopy nickels." So he quickly reaches down, grabs the baby, looks around, no one's looking, pulls out his gigantic knife, and then plunges it straight into his own leg, cutting his leg open from the hip down to the kneecap. Rips open his leg, crams the baby inside of it, wraps the leg back around the baby. Thus, allowing the baby to come to full term, because apparently that's all it takes for a baby, is just to be inside the body, because we don't know how physiology works. So Zeus now has his very own leg baby, and goes back up to Mount Olympus, walking around. He's like, "Normal leg baby, normal leg baby," walking around on Mount Olympus. Hera, of course, is a little suspicious. She's like, "What's with the lump?" And he's like, "It's my leg baby." She's like, "Is that?" He's like, "I gave birth to a brain baby." She goes, "Good point." And so because of that, he keeps the leg baby until it comes to full term. And you can tell it's ready to be born because it starts kicking and walking along. And that's how you know it's time to give birth. So he squeezes the little leg baby, and out pops this little baby onto the ground. He names this baby Dionysus. It's he has a gender. His name actually in Greek means born twice. The Dio meaning two, and the Nisus meaning to be born, meaning he was born twice. Once when his mom went kapoofity, and once when his dad went kaspookity. And so because of that, his name is born 2 times. Zeus, really excited about giving birth to a leg baby. And he decides leg baby needs to have a throne on Mount Olympus. But the problem is, there's no more thrones. So he starts throwing a fit, going around accusing all of the other gods of being selfish. He's like, "I can't believe you won't give up a throne for a leg baby. How many of you guys have given birth to a leg baby? No, none of you. Exactly. Leg babies deserve thrones too. Leg baby lives matter." And so he starts yelling at all the other gods, but no other god wants to give up their throne. Like, if you want to give up a throne so bad, you should give up your throne. He's like, "No, that's ridiculous. I'm the king of all the gods. Y'all be giving up one of your thrones." And eventually Hestia decides, "All right, listen, brother, I understand. You're really excited about giving birth to a leg baby. It's a big step in a man's life. So because of that, I give up my throne, and you get to have my throne and give it to your son." So Hestia steps down so that Dionysus can step up and take over. And Dionysus is the new one to get this throne. And Hestia still gets to stay on Mount Olympus. She becomes sort of known as the 13th Olympian. He gets to hang out on Mount Olympus, run around with all the other gods. People still pray to her. Things go the way that she wants. And she's really, really happy about all this. As Dionysus gets older, one of the things he's best known for doing is inventing or creating this thing. And the thing is, the thing that apparently Greeks were really excited about. Because if not, if you weren't drinking wine, you were drinking either milk or, goat's milk or water. And then they invented this thing called wine. Like, it's like goat's milk, but really good. And so wine becomes an important part of their life. The hand sign that will do for him, well, pretty much every time you see Dionysus, he's kind of doing the same thing. Dionysus over there, Dionysus over there, Dionysus over there, kind of seeing a theme that every time we see Dionysus, he has a cup that he's lifting up. Lift up your cup. With Dionysus, though, the Greeks realized that when you drink, it changes your personality. That you go from sober you to not so sober you. And so it was thought that Dionysus had two completely different personalities. He had a sober personality, and then he had a drunk personality. And so because of that, he becomes the idea of the god of the two-sided personality. He was known for throwing great big parties in Greece and inviting a whole bunch of people to his parties. At the end of it, he'd get so drunk, he would kill everybody there. And so it became one of these scary things about going to this party. You'd have the time of your life because your life would end. And so there's a number of stories about those parties. But he also creates something else. And at these parties, he made people perform for him. And they would have to, not like a clapping monkey, a little bit different, they would perform skits. And he becomes known as the god of theater. He was the first one to have people perform these shows for him to entertain him at his big parties. So to honor him, theater took his symbol as its own. So anytime you see theater, there's a symbol from him there, the two sides of his personality. That's Dionysus. The idea that you have the tragedy and the comedy directly goes back to him and the two sides of his personality. Because he was the god of wine, and he was the god of drama and theater.
Your face is weird.
Your face is weird. Oh, that's
Wow.
not my face, but you're attacking us. Like, let's throw down you and me.
Why was, if Dionysus' name is Dionysus, it means two lives, right? So why was Hera suspecting him?
I got no good excuse. Because obviously Zeus told her that he found this baby like crawling around on the ground somewhere and stuck. I've got nothing on that one. You're trying to apply logic again. Look, a squirrel! Zoe.
So I'm trying to fill out this blue paper, you know.
Yeah, I've heard of that thing.
Yeah. And so it's talking about like the 6 Olympians that were born. And I've got Hera, Hades, Poseidon, Demeter, and that's all I got. I need
So,
2 more.
once again, if only there were 6 posters in a row that I put right next to each other with which to help these
Hestia,
things.
Hera,
But-
Demeter,
Probably.
Demeter,
You say Zeus slash Rock.
Yeah. Strong!
So for the masks, did Dionysus also have like really, really puffy cheeks like a chipmunk?
Probably. He liked to store small things in there. That's one of the issues he had.
like
He
children.
started, right?
Like children sometimes, or couch cushions. And so we're going to go ahead and go through and do this. We're going to practice doing this twice. Once with you seeing the screen, and then once where I take the screen away. Because my goal is starting tomorrow, I'm going to start calling on you to go through and be able to do this on your own, and you get B points. You can get up to 15 B points. There's a normal version for 5 points. There's a challenge version for 10 points, and there's a double secret challenge version for 15 points. And so it's up to you on which level you want to get a chance to do it. We'll introduce that after we get a chance to go through and practice it. Is it a quick question to dub?
Oh, no, never mind.
That's very honest of you. Alright, I'm going to do the hand signs, because when you do it, if you do the easy version, I'll do the hand signs with you. So we'll practice doing that first. So I'm going to have you get a chance to look at it. You can put the notebook away. We're done with that. And then if you feel strong, I'm even going to stand over here. That way, if you feel strong about it, you don't even have to look at the screen, and you can look this way to try and help yourselves out. If you need to look at the screen, this is a judgment-free zone. You're more than welcome to. By the way, for my fairly smart-ish kids, my almost 6th period ones, did you figure out what order my posters are in?
Yes.
So hopefully that helps you out, the fact that the Zeus, Hera, Poseidon, Demeter. So as you go around, they're in that same order. A gift to you.
Thank you.
Strong.
Oh, I was gonna say, I know it's called Pals Cleaner. My friend and I used when I was little in Arizona, we used to make
Hold that
them
thought. Our first one's going to be
Zeus,
God of
all
gods.
Hera,
Queen of all gods.
Poseidon,
God of the oceans.
Demeter, God of rains and harvests,
Hephaestus,
God
Athena, god of wisdom. Hermes, messenger god. Dionysus, god of wine.
Well done. By
God
the
of
way,
wine and
in all of my other classes, I've started doing Poseidon this way and claiming credit for it by saying not only is it a W, but it's also a trident. And the fact that next year I'm going to end up changing it over to that one, and all my other classes think I'm a genius because I came up with this new idea. As far as they're concerned, they think I'm a genius and it's the best thing ever. So just thought I'd throw that out there. The fact that I'll switch it over because that way it reminds you of the trident and the W for water, and I look so smart. So proud of myself. But I'm also putting it on video, so now people know that it
Yeah,
wasn't
but you're
mine.
gonna replace
It
that
was
picture.
Sierra's idea.
Maybe. Oh, look, it's gone. So now we're going to try it once without having the screen behind us, and then we're going to get into our creating a few minutes.
I'll just open up my notebook.
Or not looking at the notebook. And we have... By the way, if you want full points, you have to make sure you do the hand signs when we're doing it. If you don't do the hand signs, it's fine. You just don't get your maximum points. So I'm fine either way, just keeping it in the loop. All right, and then...
Hera, queen of all the gods. Poseidon, god of motion.
But see, now it throws me off. I'm so used to getting all the other emotions in order.
God of
Demeter, god of Hephaestus, god of metalsmiths.
That looks like
Ares, god of war. Artemis, god of moon and hunting. Apollo, god of sun and Hades. Aphrodite, god of love and beauty. Athena, god of wisdom. Hermes, messenger god. Dionysus, god of wine.
So I tried to set it up so whenever there's a school dance, we can put all these motions together because they kind of go really close. You have like to there, to this one, so you're like going straight into this one, to this one, to across to like this one, you pull it back into this one, and your hand's right there. You go in. So it's like they flow from one to the next. Like the next time there's like a school dance, you're like I know this one.
See, that's why you can't do this. 'cause then it's
I know
just
it completely threw me off. It's so good with the trident thing, but it does throw me off with the swim. I don't know what to see how it goes. Maybe we'll just like to swim.
Hunger Games.
Swim with your
So now to go back again. What happened to the first race of humans?
They got split.
Yeah.
Not only did the humans get squished, the problem is all the animals got squished. Every creature that was living that was not a titan and immortal died off. So when Zeus takes over and becomes the new king of all the gods, he decides that he would also like to have a race of humans that he could go around and torture and stuff like that. So he goes and talks, who created the first race of humans?
Prometheus.
He wants to go and talk to Prometheus. And he goes, Prometheus, I think it's time that we create all these creatures again, so when I get angry, I can go down there and crush them and stomp them. Prometheus goes, would love to. Here's the issue. You have me helping you set up this whole new government thing with the Olympians and the thrones and trying to rebuild stuff. I don't have time to do that and create all these other things. You're going to have to pick one or the other. And Zeus goes, ugh, fine. You keep working on that. I'll get someone else to go make humans and things like that. If I can't use you, I'll get the next best thing. And the next best thing to Prometheus is? Epimetheus. So he goes and talks to Epimetheus. And goes, Epimetheus, I'm going to have you create humans and all the living beings that are out there. Are you up for it? And Epimetheus is like, I am. And starts whacking his head against the wall. And Zeus is like, don't celebrate like that. Bad child. He's like, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give you this big pile of magic Play-Doh. And this magic Play-Doh has a whole bunch of different colors in it. And you shape out the magic Play-Doh. And you shape whatever creature you want. And when you throw it down to Earth, it turns alive and then starts replicating itself like a cell. And makes like all these different forms that are out there. Epimetheus goes, all right, I can do that. Zeus goes, I'm not done. It gets even better. Not only am I giving you Play-Doh, I'm giving you this magic tackle box. But in the tackle box, instead of things like fishing hooks, it's going to have all these cool things like special teeth, fur, and eyeballs, and claws, and nose. And so you're going to have all these special things so you can pull something out of the tackle box, add it to the Play-Doh, it becomes a part of that creature, and that you get to make like all these different varieties, different things out there. You understand how it works? Epimetheus is like, okay, I think I can do this. Zeus goes, one last thing. Don't mess up humans. That's the most important part, because I'm going to be using humans for this sacrificing thing coming up. So you have to make sure you get humans perfect. You understand that? Epimetheus is like, all right, I think I can do this. Zeus goes, all right, buddy, I wish you luck. And Zeus leaves Epimetheus alone. So Epimetheus makes one of his first big kid decisions. He realizes if he doesn't want to mess up humans, he should not start with humans. So he decides that he's going to start with animals first, get some practice in, and then work up to humans. He's like, oh, I'm a big kid now. And so he decides that that's how this is going to work. And so he starts with the first one. He reaches over, grabs some green Play-Doh, and he's like, ruddy, 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 ruddy. He's like, oh, I'm on fire. And then reaches in, like, grabs some scales, like, whoop, and grabs two pointy little dagger teeth, and is like, whoop. He's like, I got one. And then, phew, and throws it down to earth. Creates the very first snake. Good job. And throws it down to there. Otherwise called killer strings. And throws it down to earth. He's like, ooh, I'm on it again. Grabs another thing of green, rolls it out again, flattens it just a little bit, and this time puts 4 legs on there, opens up the mouth even more, puts a whole bunch of teeth inside, throws that down to earth, and makes
Alligator.
nicely done. He's like, oh, I'm getting good at this one. So he starts going through making all these different creatures. Grabs a big chunk of gray Play-Doh, and he's like, ooh, it's like a hot air balloon. Makes a big gray hot air balloon, puts 4 like tree trunks on the bottom of it that are also gray, puts a little tail in the back, a big tail in the front, and grabs its head, and is like, blah, blah, and makes little wings on its head, and then throws it down to Africa, and creates, ooh, you guys get my animal descriptions, go you. And keeps doing this as he keeps going along, clapping, having a good time, and gets down to the point where most of the stuff is used up in the tackle box. Gets down to his last few creatures. Reaches over, grabs some brown, squishes out like a little brown body, takes another one brown, puts like on the back, like, I'll make a tail. Smash! Ooh, a flat tail. Like reaches over, grabs a little like a duck head, like put a duck head on there, and we'll put some duck feet. Ooh, I got 4 duck feet. We'll use them all. Puts all 4 duck feet on there, and then throws like, no, that thing's ugly. We're gonna put that down in Australia. And then sticks that down there, thus creating
Platypus!
Is so excited. He's like, oh man, I nailed this thing. Realizes he forgot to do something. What did he forget to do? Make humans. He's like, oh no! So quickly reaches over, grabs some of the Play-Doh, squishes out a little Play-Doh-y person, and is like, all right, well, fur. We'll give it fur to keep it warm in the wintertime. So he goes over and gets the fur, but the fur thing is empty. He's like, ooh, there's a piece of fur on the ground. And he puts that on the top of the head. He's like, ugh, it doesn't cover the whole body. It just covers the top. Good enough. We'll give it teeth so we can go do attacky things. And goes and gets teeth, but there's no good teeth left, just broken bits of teeth. He's like, good enough, and like wipes that inside the mouth. He's like, I'll give it claws so we can go and attack things. But there's no good claws left. He's like, well, we'll just put like claw dust on the end of the fingers. And that's kind of like having claws. Thus explaining why humans don't have good eyes or ears or teeth, why we don't have fur that covers our entire body, except for that one guy you see at the beach. And so because of that, we have all the leftover bits. Animals got all the good things. We were made by the god of idiots with all the leftover stuff. That's how the Greeks explain how humans were created and how come humans aren't as good at adapting to things. The one thing we have going for us is the fact that we have a bigger brain. Some of us have a bigger brain. And so it works out a little better like that. I mean, 6th period, they got all the brains. I mean, but the rest of you, it's hard to say. And so now, Zeus has humans created. Zeus looks down, he's like, good enough, they're humans. He's like, good job, Epimetheus. And he's like, woo! So Zeus decides now it's time to set up sacrifices. So he comes down to this first tribe of humans that are living in this little village. And he invites them over, and he goes, come here, humans. And they come over to him, and he goes, my name is Zeus. I'm kind of the god of everything you see here. So here's how things are going to work. We're going to set up this thing called sacrificing. Every time you go hunting and you kill an animal, you're going to give half of it to the gods. And the humans go, why are we going to do that? He goes, well, that's easy. If you don't, we kill you. They're like, oh, that sounds like a good deal. He's like, I thought so. The humans go, what half do we give you? And he goes, well, you actually get some choice on that. I'm going to give you an animal, and I'm going to have you split it into 2 piles. And he pulls out this cow. He's like, and sets the cow down in front of them. He goes, split this animal into 2 piles. I'm going to come back in a little bit, and then I'll decide which pile the gods get and which pile humans get. But you get to make the 2 piles. those of you who have siblings, it's kind of like when your parents give you a candy bar and they let one kid break the candy bar and the other kid take which one they want. Because if not, they let the older kid, like, you get to break the candy bar and give the candy bar. The older sibling goes, snap, here's your crumb. This one's for me, and it's equal, because I said so. And so Zeus realizes it doesn't work out that way, so he says, you make the 2 piles. I'll pick which pile we get to keep. The humans go, all right, sounds like a good deal. So the humans start separating the cow into the different parts. Well, the first thing is they reach up, grab the cow fur, and rip all off. And they rip off all the cow fur, put it over to the side. After the cow fur, what comes next?
The face. The milk.
Intestine.
Wow, I was going to go for the meaty bits. Apparently you guys don't know how animals are made. And he goes and rips out all the meat and throws that to the side. After we get to the meat, what comes next?
The horn.
Intestines. The milk.
I was going to go for the bones. And then between the bones and the meat,
Milk.
The
we just
intestines.
give up. We have never seen a cow before.
Intestines.
Nicely done. The intestines. I finally got it. I got it the first time, the 5th time. And so we have the pile of intestines. The thing is, intestines are covered in fat. And fat is made up of oil. And if you've never really seen oil, whenever sunlight hits oil, it looks kind of rainbowy. And so they have this pile of like rainbow goo, a pile of sticks, a pile of fur, and then the pile of meat. And the humans are trying to figure out which ones they want to keep. But the problem is, who made humans? So what issues do they have?
Stupid.
We saw that coming. And so the humans are having trouble figuring out which ones they want. If you were a smart human, which ones would you take? Meat and the fur. But the humans not being smart decide they want to go for the rainbow goo because it looks really pretty. Plus, you can go over to the rainbow goo, pick it up, and you can throw it at your friend, and it looks like they have like a big old rainbow face mask. Like, flat! Like, oh, that's the greatest. And the other one, you can go over to the sticks, and we call those wacky sticks, because you pick up a stick, you go over to your friend, whack them in the head, and when they hit the ground, you just laugh and giggle. Because then you can throw the rainbow goo on top of them, and you're like, this is the best thing in the world! So the humans think this is great. As soon as they make that decision, Prometheus is alerted. What special ability does he have? He sees the future. He's like, rah, humans are being stupid again. So Prometheus sneaks over to where the humans are, introduces himself. He's like, hey, my name's Prometheus. I'm super duper smart, unlike you guys. And what you're setting yourself up for is failure. So I'm here to help you. And the humans go, well, how so? He goes, well, you don't want the sticks and the rainbow goo because that's not going to help you. You want to have the meat because you can make hamburgers and steak. It's delicious. And you're going to want to have the fur because you can make leather coats, which allows you to join biker gangs when you get older. And they're like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. He goes, but here's the trick. You can't let Zeus know that's what you want. So you're going to have to outsmart him. They're like, we can't do that. He goes, I know. That's why I'm here. So he goes, here's what you're going to do. You're going to try and make Zeus pick the wrong pile. He goes, first off, what you're going to do is take your pile of meat, and you're going to put it over here, and then you take the cow fur, turn it inside out, and you put a pile over there to the side. And the human's like, oh, that looks like a cow ate a hand grenade. He's like, I know, looks disgusting, but that's the good part. And you take the other one, and you take our pile of bones, and you make like a little teepee out of it, and then you dribble all of the goo over the top. The humans go, rainbow sticks. And he's like, I know. And the humans go over to try and grab the rainbow sticks and slap them. Like, ow. He's like, you don't want the rainbow sticks. But Zeus will like the rainbow sticks, and he'll pick that for himself because he's greedy, and he'll make you take the other stuff because he doesn't want that. Do you understand? And the human's like, he's like, just trust me. They go, oh, okay. So Zeus comes back. And there's 2 piles for him to choose from. One, a big pile of rainbow sticks, and the other one, which looks like a big exploded cow. And Zeus walks in and goes, all right, so have you guys set up this whole sacrificing thing in the 2 piles? And the humans go, we did it all on our own. No help from anybody, especially really tall people. And Zeus goes, that wasn't awkward at all, but okay. He goes, ooh, is that a pile of rainbow sticks? And the human's like, I know, right? He goes, that's pretty... What is that? Is that a cow that hit a landmine? And they're like, I know. He goes, oh, well, all right. Here's how things are going to work. I don't want any of that because that's disgusting. So anytime that you sacrifice an animal, you keep the disgusting stuff for you because it reminds me of you. And they're like, huh? He's like, don't worry about it. He goes, but this stuff, this goes to the gods because it's beautiful, like me. It's a bunch of rainbow sticks, and it makes my heart swell with happiness. So every time you sacrifice, this goes to the gods. You keep the leftover bits. And there we stop. We're not going to finish this tomorrow, because what are we doing tomorrow? Nicely done.